1071. Well, Mayor Mike, first off, thank you for the hospitality today, because we are right here, as this runs on Monday, we are right here where this all happened.
Yep, the action right here.
Of course, you can see behind you, the action is happening right now, because dirty little secret,
right?
These get recorded the week before. But nonetheless, now that, we've gotten through the U.S. Senior Open,
and Riverfront Rendezvous.
We don't want to forget about that. What's left in the city this week, right?
I think we're good. I think we're just going to call it a day, wrap it up. We don't need any other events. We've kind of hit the biggies, so we're just... No, I'm kidding.
Cleanup, of course, right?
It's some cleanup. Now, I got to tell you, almost everything's done.
Yeah.
Right? This morning, we had crews out there after Riverfront, Monday morning, cleaning everything up. And by this afternoon, it will look like, nothing ever happened. You'll see some trampled grass, of course. But we're going to be back rolling, and we've got City Band playing this Wednesday. We've got Notes at Night downtown on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll have the 11 Amp music series right back, and we'll get right back into the full swing of things that are going on downtown.
Yeah, and of course, opening your arms, your pocketbook as well to 70,000 people like this. And
I don't think we got quite that many, but it was tens of thousands of people.
Tens of thousands,
Double the population of the city pretty easy.
Yeah.
And of course, this weekend we've got the Iola Car Show, where they're expecting 200,000 people in little old Iola. Mm-hmm. So yeah, lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, and talk about now, what the impact, obviously, this is going to be for the city. We've talked, I feel like ad nauseum over the last 6 months about the economic impact of this city, for the city, but there's also other impacts as well, and other ways that Stevens Point is going to be benefiting for years to come, hopefully.
Absolutely. So we won't have any kind of numbers. First of all, the numbers that we will have are going to be ballparks at best, or golf parks.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
On the fairway.
So we have a pretty exact amount on how much the city invested directly, but that's a very small amount. We won't know what Century and the USGA and the state of Wisconsin or any other sponsors put into it. And then as far as the economic return, the only thing we can directly measure is room tax money. So we can tell how good the room tax was for the Stevens Point area once those quarterly reports come out. We do have a spreadsheet going, trying to keep track, and we're asking businesses to voluntarily submit some information so we know how well we did as a community, and we can put that information out there. If you did 20% better than you did last year the same week, or 30% better, or 50% better, or no better, we'd like to know that so we can try and gauge what the actual economic impact was. Of course, predictions were somewhere in the $20 million range for central Wisconsin. That's not just Stevens Point, of course. That's all of central Wisconsin. We won't have those numbers for at least another couple of weeks yet. But the more important thing is, with all those tens of thousands of people visiting Stevens Point, they're here at Century World for a majority of their time. However, they do get out. They were exploring our downtown. They were going out to different businesses. I know Sky Club and Goose had players coming in, and those players and their families are going to tell people about the experience they had in central Wisconsin. And I expect that those players are going to tell other people, and those people are going to want to come visit Stevens Point just for all of the other cool things that we have.
And that's a great point, because I actually just kind of told you before we started, in that welcome bag that visitors got, you should have put a little postcard in there that said, "Had a great time in 2023. Let's do it again in 2 years in 2025." With an NFL Drafts logo on it.
NFL Draft.
Because I think it's pretty well known. We've got 5,000 hotel rooms in the Green Bay area.
Yeah.
The league is going to need most of those.
Yep.
Appleton is going to fill up next, and then after that, you're going to have to spread further out. So if the city of Stevens Point can say, remember that good time you had with us 2 years ago, let's do it again, and we'll shuttle you to Green Bay, maybe a party bus or something like that, all 3 days. That's something you can cash in on pretty good.
That's actually a really good idea. We could become the sports ball capital of the world.
Right? Why not? It's a great place for it. But yeah,
with the draft coming to Green Bay, we're going to see some of that benefit too. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much crossover there is, but there's some, I'm sure. EAA, of course, we have people landing at our airports for fuel and things like that. So Most of the things that we have here in central Wisconsin affect all of central Wisconsin, so it's pretty far-reaching. This is just another one of those events, and hopefully this isn't the last. We're looking to have the USGA back here as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, and that leads into my last point on this. Yeah, you mentioned, I went back 2 years ago when we first talked about this after it was announced. And of course, in true Mayor Mike fashion, you started the interview by saying, thank you for hyping up Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes.
But the USGA Junior Girls Championship was here. You've got the Men's Senior Open here now.
Right.
I know the USGA likes to work 3 or 4 years ahead on this. Is there any discussion, or I guess to the extent, how do those discussions work that maybe we could be back here for the Women's Open or a US Open?
We are willing and able to host any of the other events. I am not privy to the negotiations here at Century World with the USGA or anyone else, but once we land those, we're all in. And I think we've proven that time and again with the USGA, with the girls junior. We had a major storm roll through just a couple of days before. By tournament day, you would have never known there was a storm. People came in with their pickups and chainsaws and cleaned everything up. It was gorgeous. They had a great time. I'm hearing that some of our golfers, the more famous names, Ernie Els and Steve Stricker, of course, are saying this is one of the best groomed golf courses that they've ever seen. I'm told that they have parking closer than they've ever had for any other event. And some of the population, the people visiting, I'm told that like last Tuesday was the best Tuesday, maybe short of Los Angeles, that the USGA has ever seen for practice rounds. So, we're making a good impression. I know the community has stepped up. It'll be varying degrees of success for everyone, I'm sure, but having the community's full support, it's up on the billboards, welcome USGA. People are running specials, inviting people to have a good time in our community. And that goes a long way when the decision makers choose where they want to have their next event.
Absolutely. So it's great to see that Stevens Point has pulled this off, and the way the community has come together to make it happen. Of course, you probably expect nothing less from the people in central Wisconsin, though.
It's pretty commonplace here. That's one of the great things about our community is they're all very hospitable, friendly, welcoming, accepting, and encouraging.
Indeed. Now to the business of the city here, as we've again, I've gotten you to talk sports for 7 minutes. Look, my work here is done.
You're going to turn me into a sports guy. That's going to be a problem.
Right.
My friends will disown me.
So the business of the city now, I guess, now that this is in the rear view, what are we looking forward to for the month, the remainder of the month of July, as things get back to normal?
Back to normal is just
it's a relative term.
It's a relative term, right? I mentioned it before. We've got City Band playing every Wednesday at the Band Shell, which is recently renovated and repainted, by the way. You'll have to come out and check that out if you missed it during Riverfront. This weekend, of course, the Iola Car Show, so there'll be lots of classic cars coming in and out of town. We want to make sure they have a good time as well, even though Stevens Point isn't hosting it. Many of them are staying in the Stevens Point area or visiting. We want to make sure they have a good time. We've got some new sculptures at the Sculpture Park. If you want to take a visit there, bring your bug spray. Have you seen the wolf?
Oh, I have not yet.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So don't be alarmed. It's not a real wolf.
Okay.
I'm calling it, my own little thing is a Sirius Black sculpture.
Okay.
But then we've got Discover Downtown coming up July 15th, where this is going to be a huge event. We've got, they used to call it Crazy Days, but it's expanded so far out of that. We've got Subject to Change improv comedy troupe doing some skits. We've got the cast of Newsies Junior, which is coming up from Playhouse Theater Group. They're going to be doing some performances. Bria Bella, of course, has their fashion show, the Ping Pong Ball Drop, which this year TJ Klein over at Frank's Hardware and I, mostly TJ, put together a ping pong ball launching mechanism that we're probably going to get patented because it is so awesome. You're going to want to come down just to see that.
I absolutely.
And of course, vendors, we've got the farmers market going on all summer. That's in full swing. Live music, Notes at Night downtown on the square. Goose has live music. PJ's here at Century World has live music on Wednesdays. It's going to be another fabulous summer as we I hate to say it, but we're coasting into fall already.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And everything is just kind of run together here, especially when you're focused on a big event like this. So one more thing before we let you
Sure.
go. Obviously, we've been talking about business development as well. That's something that's been, front and center for you, always front and center for you, because you want to grow that tax base as much
Right.
as possible. What can you tell us? I mean, do you have anything in the works behind the scenes that could maybe let some of the cat out of the bag on it yet?
We're working with a developer on the former Shopko site downtown. There's some details that still need to be hashed out, but I expect to see something in front of council maybe later this month, probably August, in regards to redevelopment, not only of the Shopko building, but of that entire area with some city participation. We've created the Business Improvement District downtown now, so we're in the process of getting that ball rolling, hiring a Main Street manager to do promotions and kind of manage the downtown. So things are moving along. The Banter housing project on Division Street is occupied now.
Sure.
We're moving along with Hobby Lobby and the Five Below, Ross, all of those things on the far east side. Some of you know it as the former Walmart and Cops site on the far east side.
Yep.
That one's moving along, and we're set to have that one rolling before the end of the year as well. Opera House is looking really spectacular. If you missed it at any point in the last couple of weeks, go down there and check it out. They've got windows installed now. The brick is cleaned up. They're working on the facade, and it's going to be operational before the end of the year there too. The annex right next door is already open.
Yeah, and if you've not been on Division Street in maybe 6 months, check it out, because I'll tell you what, that especially the end here near Century World looks completely different now with those great housing projects near campus.
Yeah, it's working great with the apartments. We're pretty good with market rate now, so we're going to start driving our focus and our incentives towards housing affordability. That's the biggest challenge that I hear about regarding housing. And then, of course, the other big challenge we're going to be trying to address over the next couple of months is childcare.
Yeah.
That's huge for everyone. So those are the things politically that we're working on, trying to get solutions to. But as always, tons of stuff going on. You know this.
Indeed. And of course, housing is one thing that is going to make a lot of ears perk up, because you mentioned affordable housing. Well, affordable is a relative term. What is affordable to Mike is not necessarily affordable to Mayor Mike.
Yeah.
Or different levels.
Right.
So you said driving incentives towards that. What does that look like then, at least at the city level?
Well, let me give you some hypotheticals, right?
Sure.
Michael Leichner comes and wants to put in a housing project, but he wants some partnership with the city in the terms of tax credits or TIF incentive, tax incremental financing incentive, which is very common throughout the entire state, and probably further than the state, that the developers want to partner with the communities. What I can say to Michael Leichner is, well, if you agree to make 30% of your units 30% of gross income, meaning affordable, we will then partner with you by giving you back 30% of your taxes that you pay, or something along those lines. We have the ability to incentivize some projects, and it's the city's prerogative as to what they choose to or not to incentivize. We already require bicycle accommodations. We lead them towards sustainable, renewable energies, whether it's solar or LEED certifications, things like that. But we can put almost any caveats on those incentives that we want. So we want to use those incentives to the best of our ability to prioritize the goals of the community. Michael Leichner gets his housing project, but what do we get? What does the taxpayer of Stevens Point get out of giving you incentive? And the answer would be affordable housing.
Yep, indeed. That's about the easiest way I've ever had anybody explain it to me. So yeah,
We've been dealing with this a long time.
Yeah,
it's complicated, but boil it down. That's what people want.
And,
right?
and by the way, to further explain on that tax increment financing, that can be coming back in the form of road work. That can be coming back in the form of utilities. I mean, there again,
it's pretty flexible.
Yeah.
I mean, there are rules,
right?
But it's pretty flexible on what we can do with that. So yeah, if you needed roads or utilities to make your development work, we could do that. Maybe you need an old building removed, like Shopko, for example.
Right.
We could use it to help you as a developer get started by giving you a clean site. And we can also do it, give you the incentives in varying ways too. We can give you a chunk of money up front with a commitment contract that you'll finish it. We can wait till it's finished and then give you some of your money back. We can do it incrementally, or we can do what's called a pay-go, Where the taxes that you pay in every year, you get a percentage of those back every year. So maybe your cash flow over the next 10 years needs that.
Yep.
Those are the things that we can do. We're flexible within rules.
Exactly. Well, Mayor Mike, we always appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to chatting again next month.
All right, see ya.